Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Alright, so today I'm going to show you guys how to customize your Travax OG 2.0 with different color paracord and even add some beads to the end here. So let's get started. Alright, so I'll show you guys how I have mine set up right now. So this is the Travax OG 2.0 in G10, and this came with black 550 paracord. So I replaced it with some OD green 550 paracord and added a little copper bead to the end there. And then I put 3 separate snake knots there at the end, put the bead, and then one last snake knot just to hold it all together. Alright, so here's everything that I used to get this accomplished. Of course, you're gonna need your 550 paracord with whatever color you choose. I use this set of paracord lacing needles here, but you don't need this, and I'll show you guys what I did to accomplish this right here. And then you're gonna need something to cut your paracord with, either some scissors or your knife. Have a lighter handy and whatever bead you're gonna wanna put on the end, and this is completely optional. Now I like these needles here because you can string the paracord through the back and just twist them on. Now the problem here is the holes on this OG 2.0 are pretty small. And of course the paracord fit perfectly in these larger needles, but we can't use these. They just won't fit into the wallet. So I had to use the smallest one. I believe this is the 3mm. And you can see this needle is much thinner than the paracord itself. So to me, this was the trickiest part of this whole customization. So real quick, what you have to do is cut the end of the paracord at an angle and then just hit it with the lighter a few times and shape it with your fingers. And you have to do that a few times just to get it just right. And don't leave the lighter there for too long. I'm saying maybe just a half a second each time. Because if you leave it there too long, the paracord is just gonna glop up and it's not gonna fit through the holes. And just keep trying to fit that needle on, just twist it until it catches almost like a screw. And yes, this is the most fumbling part. It took me about 10 minutes to get this just the way I wanted. Or if you don't have any needles or just don't feel like attempting to do this, just do the exact same thing I said, cut it at an angle, and you just have to thread the paracord through the holes yourself. All right, so let's get started. As you can see, I already cut the paracord away from the wallet. So we just have these 2 plates here, and the only thing you're gonna wanna keep is this little clasp, and that's for about midway through, and I'll show you exactly how to get this on when we get to that point. Now I don't know exactly how much paracord you're gonna need. I would estimate about 2 feet, but that's depending on how many knots you wanna put at the end. So what I suggest is just put the needle or whatever working end you're gonna use and just work right off the spool. So that way when you get to the end, you can make sure you have enough paracord for how many knots you're gonna put in your tail. All right, so we're gonna start right here at the bottom. So we're gonna start on the left side of the wallet, and I'm gonna thread that needle right through that little hole on the left side there. And then from there, we're just gonna lace it all the way up until we have to put the clasp in. So I'm gonna put this down for right now and take the needle and just thread it through that hole I showed you earlier. And there you go. So from here, we're gonna wanna turn the wallet around and thread that needle through this long slot right here in the back. So we just take the needle, thread it right through that long slot, and pull it through just like that. So from here, I'm gonna give myself a little bit of slack just so I have enough to work my way all the way around. All right, once you think you have enough paracord to work your way around the wallet, take the top plate and line it up from the bottom like this. Now this is the way I do it. I found this is the easiest way, is hold it like this with your fingers and give yourself about a 1/2 inch gap like this. And then from here, go through the back with the needle and just thread it through, and see, I just lost the needle.
A few moments later.
All right, so that's not a problem at all. As you guys can see, I restrung that needle, and that's gonna happen. Like I said, that's the most fumbly part of this whole process. And the first time I did this, that actually didn't happen at all. So of course it's gonna happen when I'm on camera. So let's try this again. Restring right through those 2 holes. And come on, baby, pull through this time. Then you take that off first. And come through there. Jeez, I don't know why I'm having so many problems today, but there we go. So I'm gonna put that through first and pull it tight so you have something that looks like that. Now because I'm having issues, I'm just gonna separate those plates and pull it through the top plate here. There we go. And pull that paracord through. So as you guys can see, it's a little bit twisty. So when you're doing each lace here, just make sure you twist it and make sure that paracord looks straight. All right, so right now you should have something that looks like this. And basically from right here, all we're gonna do is just keep weaving in and out until we get to the very top. So I'm gonna do that right now and just speed up the footage so I don't bore you guys. All right, there we go. So you're gonna have something that looks exactly like this. And yes, as you guys saw, I had to stop and reburn the paracord because it started to fray right at the needle, but seems to be working pretty well right now. But before we move on, just make sure all of your string looks straight here. And don't worry about the gap being too large because once we fit it with the cards, I'm gonna show you guys how to make it nice and tight. All right, so right here, we're gonna give ourselves a little bit of slack, maybe about that much, because this is the part we're gonna need a little bit of paracord to latch it over with the clasp here. So just estimate it for now, and this is the part where we need that metal clasp as I showed you before. So this part is the second fumbliest part of this customization. With the needle, hopefully I don't have too many issues here, so just thread it through the needle here and see if I can just twist it on here. Now, if you don't have the needle, this is a huge pain in the butt, I'm telling you right now. And, all right, yeah, that wasn't that bad at all. So just pull that clasp all the way down, and right about there should do. So like I said, just estimate how much slack you're gonna need and we'll adjust that later. And now we can continue lacing all the way down the right side here. So once again, I'm just gonna speed up the footage here because it's just weaving in and out until we get to the bottom, and I'll show you guys what to do when we get right down here. All right, so there we go. You can see I have the paracord threaded through that last hole right there at the bottom, and you should have about this much slack on the very top. And if you want to estimate it, just go ahead and latch it over like this just to see if you're even close, but that should be plenty. And then next, what we want to do is thread the paracord through that long slot at the bottom, but keep it on this side. And because we don't have a lot of room to work in there, it's going to take a little bit of maneuvering. So what I'm going to do is stick it through there, put it up through the wallet, and then push it back through that second hole right there. And make sure it's that hole next to the paracord. If you use the one all the way over here, that's wrong. I don't even know what that hole's for. So one last year, I'm gonna have to give myself a little bit of room here to navigate and thread that needle through, and it's gonna come right through the ID window right there. So you can see what I'm doing, and yeah, that's looking good. And then next, go right back through that ID window, right back through that hole there. So let's do that. Pull it straight down. Oh yeah. And let's make sure it's not, there we go. So it's a little bit twisted and boom. So at the end, it's gonna look exactly like this, and we have everything threaded perfectly. And now from here, let's not worry about cutting the tail yet. Now let's just grab your credit cards and let's start shaping this and pulling this paracord tight based on how many cards you're gonna have in here. So I have 7 cards here, and that's why I like to leave that little gap, because it's gonna make this process nice and easy. So stick those in here, and let's start with latching it up. So you can see I have that big gap right there, so just squeeze this together the best you can, and now we're gonna start pulling this paracord tight. So let's start with this side here. So all we wanna do is just work our way right to the bottom. Just pull this paracord tight through each hole, and as you can see, starting to come together pretty nicely. Now when we get to the bottom here, we're gonna have this big loop. So the easiest way is when we have this big loop here, just give this bottom a nice tug and it takes care of that. Now let's just repeat the process on the other side. Pull it until it's all the way down to the bottom. We get to the bottom, we have that big loop, and pull it in. All right, so from here, let's just cut how long of a tail you want. And I don't really know how to estimate this, so once again, I'm gonna leave myself plenty of room. I'm gonna say right about there, and cut it even. Now it's probably too much, but I don't care. Like I said, I want to make sure I have enough for whatever knots I'm going to put in here. Now here's the copper bead that I had on before. I like this, I think it's pretty cool, but I found one that I think is way cooler, and that is this brass skull right here. Check this thing out. So I'm going to put this on the very bottom here, and I'm going to have a couple snake knots holding it into place. All right, so I like to leave myself about an inch of paracord underneath the wallet, just in case I have to go back and readjust. And to make your snake knot, what you want to do is take the left paracord and make a loop right under itself. So the working end is going to get looped behind. And then take the other piece of paracord, thread it through that loop here, and then twist it around the backside and then through that loop again. So like I said, we're trying to keep about an inch. So I'm going to work my way up to about right there and then start tightening that knot as I go up. All right, so I want to make 3 snake knots here. So what you want to do from this point is flip it around, take the paracord that's on the right, go up under the left paracord, loosen that knot here, and then string it through just like that. And then from there, flip it around again and do the same process. Take the right paracord under the left paracord, loosen that knot right there, and then push it through. So we're gonna have something that looks like that. And then I'm gonna do that one more time, flip it back around, take this end, wrap it around the left end, loosen that last knot right there, and stick it through just like that. And there we go. That's looking pretty good. Let's make sure the knots are tight by pulling on both ends so they don't come loose later on. And this just takes a little bit of fidgeting. So pull one end of the string, pull the other string, and I think that's pretty good. And next, take whatever bead you're gonna use and just slip it on the paracord. And then at the very end, I'm just gonna do one single snake knot. So we're gonna repeat that process. I would say about right there, but I don't like how it looks with just a single snake knot. So I'm gonna continue and do the exact same thing down here as we did up here. All right, there we go. I matched how many knots I did on the top, and I think that looks awesome. All right, now let's finish this up. So take some scissors and cut that end as close as you can to the bottom of that knot. I would say, yeah, that's pretty good. And then if you guys have that needle kit, it comes with a shaping tool. So what you wanna do, you get everything out of the way, just hit this with some flame like this and then shape it over with this little tool here and make it nice and smooth. So there's no hot spots, nothing sharp, and I think that's pretty good. So yeah, guys, there were some bumps along the way, which I kind of figured there would be, especially with this tiny little needle with the thick paracord, but the end result, I think, looks great. So what do you guys think of this snake knot skull combination I have as a tail on the OG 2.0 with G10 with the bright orange 550 paracord? All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. What do you guys think of my how-to on how to customize your Travex OG 2.0? This is my first time doing a how-to video like this, and yeah, but seriously, let me know in the comments below if you guys have customized your OG 2.0 and if you guys put beads on them or not. I think this is awesome. And also, if you guys are interested in this needle kit or this bead, I bought these off of Amazon and I'll have links below for everything that I used here. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe and go!